Hey, Kay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. It's
Uh-oh, you
weird.
done turned the video off. She like, I am not the one.
Well, actually, I'm on two devices. I'm on my desktop where I can see it, and then I'm on my cell phone where I can hear it. So, because I can't seem to get my sound on my desktop to come through. So whenever I do my Zoom meetings, I have two devices on. So one of them says
Okay.
Stephen Lewis, and that's actually my son, but it's not him, it's actually me. So
Okay.
how did everything go today?
Everything went okay. I went out there and like I said, they already got the warm season crops out there. They went and put them out, I guess Saturday or Sunday. Nakia actually said she saw them out there replanting host disabled attendee screen sharing. Can you add the screen sharing back in?
Let me see.
Because I'm going to, well.
Yeah, it's on. Let me see.
Lewis is on.
One participant can share at a time. Multiple participants can share simultaneously. I'm gonna click that. All right. Can you get it? Do it now?
Hold on. There we go. Okay, microphone is muted. Here. Where are we? Put that behind me. Okay.
All righty. I'm going to admit Sparkle. She's here. Cool.
Uh-oh, there's the baby in the background.
Yeah. Let me close that door. Hold on. All righty. I'm back. I admitted Sparkle. I see it says connecting to audio. I see Sparkle's name.
Okay.
Sparkle, can you hear us? It still says connecting to audio.
No. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you. And I see Sparkle. I admitted her to the room. I see her name and I see it keeps saying connecting to audio.
Yeah, she's got to hit the button in the lower right-hand corner, lower left-hand corner.
There, I see her.
Okay.
Hi, Sparkle. Hi, Sparkle. Hello.
I see Sparkle. I see Stephen Lewis.
Oh, yes, Stephen is actually my phone. It's like.
That's your, oh, okay, yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, so I'm on two devices, yeah. I see Sparkle, but I'm trying to get her to wave back.
I'm chatting with her.
Okay, cool. All right, excellent. You just do whatever you need to do.
Okay, so Sparkle's on. I'm just going to send a link to Nakia.
Okay.
And just so they know we're on.
Sure.
Okay. And okay, so Sparkle, what you see here is our cool season crops. There's some collard there, some Swiss chard, and parsley way at the end. Those things are going to be within the next week or two getting a little too hot, and you'll probably see them either turn brown and wither over. So any of that you might want to collect or eat, it's a really good time. Like I said, there's collard greens there, and I am going to send a recipe to everyone for mustard greens or Swiss chard, whichever you want to use, because they're both out there in the garden. But this week we are actually going to cover cool season crops. I'm sorry, warm season crops. I'm going to stop the share and send another photo that is what went in the ground over the weekend. So these are tomatoes. Now, tomatoes are considered a warm season crop. This particular batch was planted maybe 3 weeks ago or 3 or 4 weeks ago when it first got warm. So they've been through some stuff. You can see they've got some kind of brown parts, and that's actually from going through the cold, because it's actually nice and wet out there today. So in between the tomato plants, I don't know if you see the tiny little green, that is pepper plants, as in bell peppers. And the bell peppers are also a warm season crop. They like it when it's about 70 degrees consistently. They don't really like too much cool weather, so they're going to be pretty happy in the coming weeks. And to put something in the ground and get rain immediately following, that's actually really smart. So I'm hoping that our maintenance team that's going in and planting things, that they're using that smart approach of planning for the weather. So let's see who else joined us.
I let Nakia in, but I don't see her yet.
I see her. Nakia writes with us. Yep, she just took her, hi. She just took her mute off. Say hi.
Hi.
Okay, cool. Hello. I see you now. All right, great.
Brandon's coming.
Okay.
All right, so here I am, everybody. I'm Kay, for anybody who doesn't already know me. I just kind of jumped right in because we had some people logging on, but I'm actually coming to you today from my living room. I did go out to the garden today, and I found that our friends, Art Burton and his team, had been out and already put in warm season crops. Last week we talked about cool season crops, which were lettuce, parsley, mint, kale, Swiss chard, radishes. So this week we're actually going to talk about the warm season crops, because we're at the end. By June, normally your your cool season crops, again, your lettuce, your parsley, those types of things are going to start to get too hot. They'll get brown, they'll fall over. So what I was showing was a picture of what went in over the weekend. Nakia, were you the one that was looking out and saw a bunch of people over there?
Yes, and
Okay.
a lot of children. I was overhearing their conversation about the plants and the seedlings and what they can do to help it grow out here.
Was that cool?
It was, because I was looking from across the street and I was watching the whole thing. I said, wow, teaching the young ones how to do it. That's what we should be doing every day.
Yep. So it's really just cool to even, go out there, because they all want to know what it actually is that's out there, right? So what I was hoping that you guys could do this week is spend some time over there and see how many, pick a leaf off of every different type of thing that you see. So we're going to do a leaf study, and then a board that'll actually show what all is out there, because I can get it laminated and put out there. That way when people are out there, they're looking at a leaf and it says underneath that this is a tomato or this is a pepper. Because what I discovered just being out there last week is, lots of times we just see green and we don't necessarily know the difference between the individual plants. But there are some ways to do that. So this week, you guys are going to get a set of resources. You're going to get another Gangster Gardener video. Did you guys like that?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I always think that it's really important to see men doing this, to see people that look like us. So I think that video series is really cool, and feel free to share those with anyone. You're also, so you're going to get the Gangster Gardener video, another one. You're also going to get a link to Leaf Snap. Now, Leaf Snap is an app that's really cool. It lets you take a picture with your phone in the app, and it'll tell you what the plant is. Okay? So that way, when you're outside and you're looking and you're in the garden and you're like, I think this one's the tomato and I think this one's the pepper, you can kind of familiarize yourself with some assistance from the digital tools. And then lastly, I'm going to send an email around to make sure that I personally have everyone's address correct, because I'm going to get a tomato plant for each of you to have at home. Someone mentioned that cherry tomatoes are a fave. They're one of my favorites too. And Browntown Farm agreed to give us some plants. So we want to get those activated, and I'm going to be stopping by to drop those off. And we can do like a touchless delivery if we need to do that, so that everyone stays safe and respects the COVID-19 protocols. So did everyone get a chance to go over to the garden in the last week?
I didn't get a chance to.
I didn't get a chance either. I'm sorry. I haven't been feeling too well the past few days.
That's okay.
Since I live right across the street from it, that's how I was able to hear what they was talking to the children about.
Good, good. So, yeah, like I said, it's a tricky proposition even getting out these days. And so I did recognize that, which is why I want you guys each to have a little something growing at home. Now, I got cherry tomato plants, but I want to hear from you. Is there something else that you'd rather try to grow? Because I can probably, make an adjustment if someone would rather, have something else. My family doesn't eat tomatoes or whatever.
I love tomatoes.
Love tomatoes?
Currently, I just, I'm sorry. I currently don't really know what's all over there right now.
Uh-huh.
But
so there are...
I would love to know what we have so far.
Okay. So far there are, this is the transition time. That's what I was saying, is it's a transition between cool season crops like lettuce, radishes, parsley, mint, strawberries, but there aren't any over there. But the other four things that I named, oregano, all of your herbs are considered cool season crops. Warm season crops are going to be collard greens, tomatoes, peppers, of all varieties, bell peppers and like banana peppers, and things like cucumbers or melon. And all of those things are either going or going to get going. I know they have the tomatoes out. I was showing pictures of those. So these are the small tomato plants that just went in over the weekend. You see that pot right there?
Oh, wow.
Okay. And I actually ended up bringing that home because I don't know why they left that in the middle there, but I'm going to repot it into some bigger pots in a video. And then I'll be bringing each of you a tomato plant around. And so you'll have that this week. You'll have a repotting video, another Gangster Gardener, Leaf Snap app, which you can add to your phone and take a picture of a leaf.
And that's free, correct?
The Leaf Snap app is free.
Cool. I pulled it up.
Did anybody just look it up?
Yeah. But
okay, yeah.
If it was free or not. Yeah.
Yep. So you can go in your Play Store or your Apple Store and download Leaf Snap. And then really wherever you are, but especially in the garden, you can take a picture of a leaf and the app will tell you what the plant is.
That's awesome. I've been
Isn't
looking
that
for that
awesome?
for years. I've been looking for that for years.
Have you?
No, because sometimes I want to go foraging in the woods, but I don't know what all is there that might make me sick. You know what I mean? So that's
I do. So, well, speaking of which, I was out in the garden and we found a mulberry tree over there.
Nice.
and discovered that, you know, mulberries are edible. I ate them a lot when I was a little girl.
I eat them now. They're almost right. I'm plotting on the one on Lee Street off of Belvedere right there, that whole fence. We eat off of that on a regular basis. Yeah.
So berries are considered cool season crops. Pretty much any berry is going to have this same cycle as those mulberries. So strawberries, it's strawberry season right now. You're going to get the best strawberries all year long right now. That's where you see those ones that are great big or whatever. Blueberry, blackberry, it's berry season. When you see those berries on the trees, same thing.
Snatch them up.
Yep.
While you can.
So then later in the season, warms up. From a tree perspective, you guys saw pears out there. Go check out the pear trees. They got little pear buds. Those trees are going to be heavy with pears before the summer is out. Persimmons. So there's persimmon. Do you? There's persimmon trees out in the garden. Use your Leaf Snap app. It'll tell you which is which. I think they left the signs still on there. But feel free, I want you guys to have these tools because just like you heard a group over there, just some kids, and they're talking about what to do and what it all is, you guys can do that too. Particularly if you've got knowledge from Gangster Gardener, if you've got tools and you can kind of show people, hey, here's how you figure out what's what. And again, instruction on how to plant, and you can show people what you got going at home. And so warm season, tomatoes, peppers, melon, and cucumber, I believe is what's going to go on in this garden. Okay. And then you guys will be doing cherry tomatoes at home. Okay. So, Ms. Renata, does everyone here know Ms. Renata?
Oh, if you don't.
Not even a little bit. Please
We
Sorry,
all
I'm sending the message.
Ms. Renata,
to,
can you?
Yeah.
If you have a second, or you know, can speak on it, can you talk a little bit about the youth? Because she said she saw some people out there, and I'm thinking it was Art and his team. And what they do, like, is it okay for everybody to just kind of mix it up if they see them out there, to go out there and talk with that group?
I would say you can, I don't think with the program that we're doing, we're going to not mix with their group, but you can go out there and check out what it is that they're doing. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. You know, you can take photos or anything like that. You know, feel free to ask them what they're planting. You know, if you're not sure what it is, it's perfectly fine.
Yep. Matter of fact, I would encourage
check on the garden anytime.
Yep. I would encourage, take photos, share them on Facebook, share them on Instagram, you know, with your own funny little captions, because I'll be pushing that stuff out. Just like I got BSU to do a shout out with you guys. I'd love to be able for you to go back and we'd share stuff with them, with BSU, with some of the other community gardens across the area. So, I mean, those are the resources and why we're making them available. Obviously there's eating, but there's just this magnificent learning opportunity. What I'm finding is that the eating, you know, it's such a small plot that the stuff to eat, it goes by really fast. So if you're interested in parsley, fresh parsley, there's some out there. I went and got some today, and I am actually going to make one of my favorite parsley salads. It's parsley cucumber vinaigrette with tomatoes, and but that's just something. And so I'm gonna send you guys that recipe. So you're gonna get a plant, you're gonna get a recipe, you're gonna get a Gangster Gardener video, you've got Leaf Snap app already, hopefully everybody does. And if you go out to the garden, grab the collard greens, grab the parsley, grab the mint, make yourself some mint tea. Oh, who would like to see a video on drying mint to make mint tea?
Yes.
Anybody interested in that? Okay, so then that's what I'll do for next week. I'll go out and get, because that'll be preserving. We're gonna work then with preserving some cool season crops, even as we're transitioning into planting other things. So preserving is another part of, or valuable thing about having a garden, is that then you can take what's grown and use it all year long. So that's what we're gonna be looking at next week, is preserving mint by drying, and getting your tomato plant started.
Is that like oven process dehydration?
So I have a dehydrator. There's several methods, right? That's a good question, by the way. There's several methods. There's oven process, which is like putting in your oven around 200 degrees or so. There's sun dried, which is, you know, just that, leaving it in the sun to dry. And then there's dehydration, actually having a dehydrator, and there's a couple really cool ways to set those up, kind of in a homemade way. And then there's, you know, the store ones, which I see at the thrift stores all the time, for like $5 or $6. So next time you're in a thrift store, you may want to look for that. People rarely go over into that section with like the crock pots and all of that, but you should check it out. Because there's typically some really cool stuff out there. And I like to work with food. I like food gadgets, and I like getting them at the thrift store.
Me too.
So yeah. All right, so then what I can do, I'm gonna be using the dehydrator method. I'm going to go over the oven drying method. And no, I'm gonna go over the sun drying method, and then I'll see if I can find a video for oven drying, because you said that's gonna be what's easiest for you.
That's
yeah. I've been flirting with the idea of dehydrating some things lately. Like, this is kind of where my mind has been at anyway, and I do practice canning and whatnot, but dehydration is a little bit new to me. So
okay,
something I want to cut my teeth on somewhere at some point.
So would you be open to creating that resource together? The one on oven drying?
Okay.
Okay, I'll see what I can find on it, but then if you could, you know, create like a video and share it, because I bet you're not the only one that has that particular method, or questions about it, or interest in it.
Yeah, I haven't done it though, but I can gather some info and share it with you.
Yeah, I'll gather some too, and we'll exchange, and then we'll lay out like, oh, what's the best way to record this instruction, or, you know, make it available to everybody.
Yep.
Because that's part of what this is about. I've been doing food and nutrition, just a little background on the garden, or, you know, on gardening. I've been doing food and nutrition for about 15 years, and I've always looked for videos, looked for content, looked for curriculum that features people of color, that's relevant to what we eat, that and that's a struggle. So what I find is that we're gonna have to create that content. This is part of it. Like, we're recording this today, right? Because those are relevant questions. Well, hey, I'm working with my oven at home. Because again, this stuff has to be practical, right?
Yeah.
Or it's not helpful. So if you're working with your oven at home, how do you really do it? And I mean, you're about to be the expert on that. So that's how we'll shape it out. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Miss Renata, did you want to add or change or comment on anything?
Well, the
I want
only
to
thing
thank
I
you.
did want to share is to let you know I was on the other phone with Shanika. She was having trouble. I don't know whether she
Oh,
got
okay.
the message, but I did send it to her while you all were talking on the other phone. I texted to her, but she
Okay.
hasn't been able to enter yet. So, Kay, if you could follow up with her via
I will.
telephone, and then maybe she will be up and ready to move in next week's class. But I do want to say I want to thank you all for consenting to participate in this program. We selected you all because we thought, one, you were close to the garden. Two, we thought you would have an interest in what it is that we're actually trying to do, because this is going to go beyond the 4 weeks, because the garden is actually in your community, and we want you to be a part in maintaining it and taking care of it and kind of teaching other people about it as well, in particular youth and children. We want to make it a safe space, and we also want to make it a healthy place, because we may have to move towards growing our own foods again. You know, we're in a very extraordinary time right now in our world where we just can't, we may not be able to rely on going to the store and picking up things. We may have to go back to doing things the way we used to do years ago. So that's all that I really want to say. I appreciate you all for being a part of it, and I pray that you all are well. You look like you're well, and you're maintaining, and you're following the rules the way that we should. Just on a sidebar note, don't believe what the man in the White House is saying. Don't believe the man behind the curtain. Do not believe that. You stay home and you take care of you, because
Kidding
if you look
me?
at statistics, it's
Hell
us
no.
that's dying. Okay, it's us. They haven't opened the golf courses. They have not opened the tanning salons. But what did they do? They opened the nail salons and the hair salons, because they know that's where we frequent. So I'm just, that's a little sidebar note. Take care of you, take care of your family, and do what's necessary to stay safe and stay healthy. And we appreciate you. Now, is the 4 o'clock out? The 1 o'clock? I'm trying to figure out what happened, because it's weird. I got the message from Zoom at 1 o'clock saying you have a Zoom meeting at 1, although it showed up.
That's what I was trying to say,
weird.
Renata. Zoom is on what's called Greenwich Mean Time, which is a different time zone. So it's 4 o'clock in the Greenwich Mean Time is actually 1 o'clock for us.
Right.
And so that's why it did cue you at 1 o'clock. Hey, here's your call, even though it says 4. But just for the confusion's sake, I figured we'd go ahead and go at 4 today. But going forward, we are going to do 1 o'clock, if that's okay.
1 o'clock would be fine, because anytime it prompts me, and it did prompt me about 10 minutes to 1, and then I looked at about 1:30. I think I had gone to Walmart. I said, I got a message that Zoom is going on. So it'll be the 1 o'clock this next week and moving forward. And I'm your host, but Kay is your facilitator. All I'm doing is sitting here monitoring the screen and making sure everybody is admitted to the room. That's it. Okay?
Yep.
I'm good. So we appreciate you all for your interest and your participation.
And I will, are all of you friends? Have all of you liked or subscribed, or are friends with Mommies, Babies, Bellies, and Daddies Facebook page?
Yes.
I will get right on that. I just
Thank you.
My page is new and not very well tended. I don't play Facebook that close. Yeah.
Okay.
But
I don't either.
I don't even have Facebook.
I will.
I don't either, but please, if you know, if possible, like or subscribe to Facebook, to the Facebook page, because that's where a lot of our pictures and all that kind of stuff are going to end up, so that they're shared with the community.
Oh, and speaking of that, we're going to eventually, I'm going to create a Zoom sister circle within the next couple of weeks. So look for a text message or an email message from me. It'll be on a Wednesday, and it'll be around 12 noon, which is when we kind of sort of meet.
Nice.
It'll be on a Wednesday, 12 noon in the next couple of weeks. I'm trying to reach out to everybody to get as many moms as possible to participate, just so we can check on you, because we have had 2 births since we have not been here.
Yeah.
We've had 2 births. So
can you guys imagine what it'll be in history, though, to the kids that say, man, I was born during COVID-19. Amazing. So yeah, we better check on those moms.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a lot of babies going to be born, 9 months from now.
9 months from now, it's going to be another baby boom.
It sure is. It's going to be babies named Pandemica, COVID with a K, Quarantina. It's going to be a whole lot.
All the quarantine babies.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Well, that's all that I have. That's all that I have. It's coming up on 4:30. Did anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns to end on?
At some point during this, are we gonna go more into composting?
Yes, we're gonna touch on composting in the very last session.
That's something I'm
Now there is
particularly
not
interested in.
composting. There's not composting set up at the garden right now. There is a former compost pile, and we can talk about how to activate that. You know, and what it might be worth to do so.
A lot.
Oh yeah.
Especially
But yeah,
with
we are
waste
going to touch.
management.
Yeah, we are going to touch on waste-free ways to do nutrition.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
All right. Well,
All
then
right.
that's all that I have. Happy Monday, everybody. Now, wait,
Beautiful.
next
Yeah.
week. Oh, next week is the holiday.
Yep.
Is everyone cool to still get together at one on the holiday, or does everybody have big plans?
What's next week?
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
I'm
Really?
good. I have absolutely no plans.
Yes, time flew since we've been quarantined.
Yeah. The year is half
Time
over.
flew.
The year is half over. It is June, y'all.
Well, what a dream. Well, you know what?
September ain't getting here fast enough.
I'm pretty sure, though. I mean, something will probably end up happening, but I don't have anything specific going on. Like, you know how that goes.
I don't have anything. So whatever works.
I don't
works.
either, Miss Renata. So I'm cool to do a Monday session next week, and we'll just call it a bonus session because we were actually only supposed to do 4 anyway. So you'll still get 4, but next week will be a bonus session.
All right. Fair
Okay.
enough.
Right.
Thank
Cool
you.
All right. I'll talk to you guys
Alrighty.
later.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a
too.
blessed one.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All
Happy
righty. Bye-bye.
gardening. All right. We're going.